Hi, and thank you for being here with me today. We are going to talk about the protective factors. So this is a series, if you haven't seen the beginning. In the beginning, we talked about all the different categories of protective factors, and we rated ourselves if we're good at this category or we're not so good at this category. What this video is, I'm breaking down the different categories so that if you were weak in one, you can now work on making it stronger. So today's topic is our coping skills. Now, what we said for coping skills in the original video was the ability to manage uncomfortable emotions in a healthy way, and also the awareness of our emotions and how they affect our behaviors. So if you're somebody who doesn't know how to cope with your emotions in a healthy way, or you just aren't even aware of your emotions and how they're impacting the way that you behave, you probably rated yourself on the weaker scale, and that's okay, because today we're going to talk about how do we bring it into the stronger part of the scale. So for example, I think what we talked about in the first video was that if you're somebody who tends to reach for the bottle, smokes weed to make yourself feel better, or any type of drug, if you become physically violent when you're upset, those are all indicators that instead of handling your emotions, you mask them by using substances to make you feel better, or you don't know how to manage your anger, and then your behavior ends up hurting other people because you become physically violent. Those are only some examples. There are other unhealthy or maladaptive coping skills. But if you see yourself in that category, what you want to start to do is figure out what are some healthy ways to cope and manage emotions that aren't going to affect your physical health or somebody else's health. An example could be people that like to meditate. Usually meditation is a way to help calm you on the inside, bring you back to peace, get you grounded, bring you back into the present moment. So meditation's really good. Sometimes yoga is a really good coping skill for people. Again, they feel like it helps them become one with their body. It also helps move and have a flow of energy and things like that. Journaling is another good way to express yourself. So if you're somebody who usually gets easily irritated and you're yelling and screaming at everybody, maybe you need to have your own journal, and so you can write your thoughts and process them that way instead of just throwing them at people and being mean. We also have breathing techniques. You could definitely go on YouTube or other YouTube videos and look up breathing techniques, or there's different tools and apps and things that you can use to help with breathing. This is also a way to regulate. So if you feel either really angry, really anxious, you can use breathing, because when you're anxious, if you're like breathing heavy or your heart rate is beating and you want to be able to regulate it, when we slow down our breathing and we put it at a certain pace, it'll automatically help the rest of us regulate. It doesn't have to be anxiety, it could be anger too. If you're somebody who gets really angry and you're all amped up and you're worked up and you need a way to help regulate, breathing is a good technique. Another good coping skill is working out. This releases good, happy chemicals, and so that could be really helpful if you're in a bad mood. But also, if you feel a lot of anxiety or anger built up inside of you and you want a way to release it, sometimes working out is a way to get rid of all of that energy in a healthy and positive way. So working out is another good option. If there are certain hobbies that you like, everyone has different things that they like to do, but if you have a certain hobby that makes you feel good, engage in those hobbies. If there are certain people in your life that make you feel good, talk to those people. You just basically want to have, sometimes what we call it in therapy is like a toolbox to pull from. So you have these different lists of things that you could do that are healthy, and whenever we're angry, upset, anxious, sad, whatever the case may be, we go into this toolbox that we've created and we pull something out. So maybe today we pull out doing our hobby that we really enjoy. Maybe we pull out doing yoga, we pull out exercising, we pull out journaling. You want to have different options, because if you only have one option, like you only ever do journaling, that might not work every time, and you might also get bored of it, or you might just feel like I need other options. So if we have different things available to us, there's a squirrel over there. Hi. Yeah. Um, I got distracted. But yeah, if you have different options, it's always better, because then you feel like there are multiple things that you could do and it might work in different situations. Like if you are in the car and you're really angry, you can't pull out of your toolbox a hobby if it is like softball, right? You're not going to start playing softball in the middle of your car, but you could pull out your breathing techniques. And that's why we want multiple options, so that we have different things that we can do. So if you are somebody who is struggling with managing your coping skills or having any coping skills, I would definitely suggest talking to a therapist, a life coach. Go online, Googling different coping skills, because there are so many coping skills. It's hard to say like do just this one, because there's a variety of options and everybody's different and we connect to different things. So I can't tell you exactly like, hey, go do yoga, because some people might hate yoga and that's not for them. You can consult with somebody or look up your different options online and figure out what works best. Figure out what works best for you and then slowly implement them into your life. And eventually in time, you go from the weaker scale rating into the stronger scale rating, and you'll see a difference in yourself. And it's okay to play around with them. You might pick a coping skill and you might decide, you know what, that's not for me at all. That's completely okay. There are so many options. Just move on to the next one and play around and see what works best for you. Okay, I need to go tell that squirrel to leave because he's just really making a lot of noise. Hey, stop it. Thank you. Okay. Thank you for your time. I'm trying to make these super short so that if you have multiple that you want to watch or need to watch, you're not listening to me ramble for like 15 minutes. So I'm going to stop it there. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you in my next video. Ooh, it is windy.